Welcome to this video. This is picking a niche to work in. Now this is pretty mission critical. This is going to be an area that you work in over and over and over. And in my opinion, there's no perfect solution or formula that you can follow to pick a perfect niche every time. A little bit of this is art form where you kind of have to fumble around and back into it. And yes, there are some different rules you can follow, but in the end, it kind of depends if this is a niche that people buy t-shirts in. So you're a little bit held to that. All right, let's get into it. In my opinion, there's two different types of niches, and these are either evergreen or trend. So evergreen is something that happens year round and year after year. So for example, the gun niche, you could sell shirts into every 365 days a year and into the future. The mom niche, you could absolutely do that. The grandma niche, whatever those are that happen year round, those are evergreen. Now, conversely, there are trend niches, and this could be they only happen during a certain part of the calendar year. So this one will just say hockey moms. During the summer, it may be hard to sell a hockey mom shirt. During the season or at the start of the hockey season, whenever it's played in that area, then hey, time to fire up some campaigns and test it out. So there's that type, and then there can also be a trend where something happens in the news, and maybe it's something happened at a sporting event or a national trend or a state trend. Something happened, it's newsworthy, and you could make a shirt about that, and it would sell. So to me, there's those two types of niches. You probably need a mix over time that you work in and play in. But me personally, I like evergreen ones, so it makes it more consistent. I can just launch week after week, and it just makes a little bit more sense to me. When I see a great trend design, I jump right on it as fast as I can, but I also know that it's not going to live forever, and I have to come back to it and remember it or try something different there. Now, you can sell into giant niches, and I consider gun control or Second Amendment or guns as a huge niche. It's massive. If you start putting in a number of interests into Facebook Audience Insight, you'll see it's very big. And then conversely, there's micro niches, which I chose forklift operator. I want to say there's about 35,000 forklift operators that show up when you put it into Audience Insight, something like that. So there could be massive ones and small ones. And depending on where you work and what fits for you, maybe in your micro niche, you can't have a forklift operator shirt that sells 1,000. Maybe it's just so small that it can't be done. And that can only be done in a giant niche. But maybe the giant niche is a lot more competition and it's harder. So it's really a balancing act on what works for you and what's more your size over time. Now, I like to think of it as not too big, not too small. So when we look at, sewing, is this too big? 4.5 to 5 million. Probably this equation is if you're brand new to t-shirts and you haven't really fiddled around with selling them yet, I probably wouldn't attack sewing, as an interest. I would probably try to get it a little bit smaller, niche it down. Is knitting one? Okay, it's better. It's 3.5 million when you go into Audience Insights. Needlepoint, is this one too small? 100K. Actually, I think that's pretty nice size. So somewhere in between here, knitting and needlepoint, these kind of make sense to me. And then I put in cross stitch, and there was 7,000 people per month that show up on Facebook that have this interest. So that's probably too small and not sustainable over time. So kind of somewhere in the middle is a good place to start, especially if you're new. New to t-shirt selling. As you get more confidence, yeah, sure, go after bigger niches, sell into bigger ones, sure, but kind of start in the middle. It'd be my advice to you. Now, are they crazy about the topic? So, is there a magazine, multiple websites? Are there forums? Do these people talk and chat back and forth in a specific language that only they or their, people in the same niche understand? That's where you can sell t-shirts into. Also, is it a career? Especially in the United States, we identify with our job like 100%. So when you first meet someone, hey, what do you do for a living? And that's a great shirt as long as it's funny and they actually like that career. So, for whatever it's worth, probably choose positive careers. And this also must be something socially acceptable. So let's say men's hair loss. Well, is that a niche you want to go in and try to sell shirts into? That the guy says, on his shirt, I'm proud of my hair loss. These have to be kind of a positive affirmation or something funny that sparks a conversation. It has to be witty or something that they really stand behind. So, hair loss, it's not really socially acceptable, even though it's going to happen to me someday. Just know that's probably not the most fertile ground to be selling t-shirts into. Social Bakers, go to this site, check it out. It's awesome. If you want niche ideas, we'll pop over here in a second, but there's probably no better place, and you can play around by country with categories, that sort of thing. So let's check it out here. All right, here we are. This is what it looks like, and you'll want to, well, what I like to do is go to Facebook's and then Pages. So those two selects. Facebook Pages. And you get to something that just literally starts listing Facebook pages, and here's the size, the number of fans. So you'll see a lot of celebrities when you're looking up at the top here, but maybe you want to make poker shirts. Great, you see that. Just different ideas will pop up at you as you go through this. You may also want to go down like a couple thousand pages and see if there's anything down there. So, some of those massive big ones may not be perfect places to start, but dig down a little bit, and you'll probably find a little bit more gold. So down here, there's a Smith & Wesson, which is a gun brand. Something about Argentina, children's rights, Pac-Man, I love my grandkids. There you go. That's dig down a little bit into it and look at some of that data. So check it out, Social Bakers. This is a awesome niche sparking site, no doubt. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask Teespring and they'd be happy to help you out. Thanks.